Hello, good morning, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shanika Roberts. I am a stay at home mom, certified career coach, resume writer, and the founder of Next Chapter Career Services, where we equip moms to land jobs and gain their confidence while doing it. It's been a few weeks since I've done any Facebook Lives, but I am back and I am ready to share a very excited teach with you ladies today. And it's all about resumes. Today's teach is called Three Game Changing Tips for Your Resume. And I'm going to be helping out both the stay at home moms and the working moms with my three tips. Okay, so tip number one is going to be for my stay at home mamas who are a lot like me, just home taking care of the kiddos, but also needing to look for a career for whatever reason. And then my last two tips will be for my working mamas, the stay at home moms. If you are watching this live or on replay, let me know if you are a mom who is currently job searching and struggling with her resume. I would love to connect with you and answer any questions that you may have. So let's get into today's teach. Okay. So before I even go through my tips, I just to talk briefly about resumes. Okay, what they are and why they are so important. So, in the shortest, easiest way to explain it, resumes are marketing brochures, right? They are written explanations of our skills and all that we've accomplished, so that employers can see what value we could bring if they were to hire us. And the purpose of a resume is to get you an interview, to get you in front of that hiring manager. Now, if you've been on your job search for a while and you're getting really frustrated because you haven't been getting any interview callbacks, chances are that there's something that needs to happen with your resume. You may have to make some changes. So, my three game changing tips can definitely help you out today. So, let's get right to it. So, my first game changing tips for moms is to address your any resume gaps you may have in your resume document. And this is especially for us stay-at-home moms, right? So, if, as you might have heard me say before, I left the workforce full time back in 2019 and I had my daughter very shortly afterwards, and I've been home with her ever since. She is 2.5 years old now, and I know I'm going to be home with her for a while. Studies show that most women take an average of 2 to 3 years off from their careers when they have kids. And there are exceptions to this rule. Some moms may stay longer, some moms may stay shorter. Point is that maybe you're to a point where your kids are a little bit older and independent and you want to get back to work, or maybe for financial reasons you're going to have to make some changes and look for part-time or full-time work. Whatever it is, what you don't want to do on your resume when you are working on it is talk about all your job experience up until the point that you took your career break and not explain what you've been doing in the years after that. One time I was coaching a mom. She was a stay at home mom and she was trying to go back to work. And she really felt deflated about her resume, right? She felt like, well, I've just been home with the kids for the last like 4+ years. Like, I don't have anything to talk about on my resume. But as we kind of broke that down and talked, I came to realize that she was actually doing a lot of stuff while being a stay at home parent. So, my first tip to you is to mention that you are a stay at home parent on your resume. Just like how on your resume you have a job title and you may even have dates worked in that specific job title, you can actually write down stay at home parent, give yourself some dates, how long you've been home, and just briefly describe that you've been home taking care of things, taking care of your kids and your family. Now, back to my story of this incredible woman that I coached once upon a time. So we started talking about, okay, well, what have you been doing for the last 4 years? Have you just been home taking care of the kiddos? What else is going on? Well, I came to understand that she was also very involved with her church. She was teaching Sunday school, and whenever the church had events, she was there helping with setup, helping to greet, people coming to church. She was very involved with her church. And I had to explain to her, well, honey, you can talk about that in your resume. In fact, she was trying to apply for jobs at a daycare, right? So here was some not only experience that she did while she was home, but applicable experience. She could talk about things that she did while she taught kids at Sunday school to demonstrate to the daycare that she had experience working with a bunch of kids and not just her own. So, in addition to saying that you're a stay at home parent on your resume, you also want to talk about other things that you're doing during what I love to call mom life. And it doesn't have to be paid. So, if you're doing volunteer work, if you are helping out in your community, you're like me and many other moms that have some sort of online presence, whether it's a social media group or a blog or a website, those are all things you can put down on your resume. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. There are two reasons. For one, there's actually research that shows that you can increase your chances for interview callbacks by up to 60% just by acknowledging that you have a gap on your resume. Yeah, I was home for this time, and these are the things I did. Also, it really, really shows that you're someone that is busy, someone that wants to solve problems, and you're still using your skills. So go ahead and put those on your resume. So that's my first tip, okay? Address those resume gaps. Now, my second tip for moms who need to work on their resumes is you want to make sure that your resume is outcome focused, okay? So when I say outcome focused, I want you to be talking about results and impact that you have generated as a result of your skills and experience. Ultimately, in the workforce, no matter what industry you're interested in, we are hired to be problem solvers. And we've got to show that we've got the skills and the know-how to solve those problems. And the best way we can do that on our resume is to talk about all the great things, all the specific things we've accomplished in past work. So I have a little bit of a definition for outcomes so that this can help kind of drive this point home even more. When I'm talking about outcomes, I am talking about specific or measurable results to a problem that you have solved. Okay, so results can be quantitative or results can be qualitative. Okay, and you want to make sure that you're highlighting those in your resume. So let's talk a little bit about quantitative versus qualitative results or outcomes. So let's say, for example, I have a mom and she works in sales, okay? And, she brings her resume for me to review, and she has on there, created product brochures, made sales calls, maybe a couple other kind of vague, kind of short bullet points. Well, the problem with those bullet points is that it reads a lot like a job description, right? It doesn't really tell me what specific outcomes or results she's generated for the company. Now, a quantitative result, so numbers that she could put on her resume instead to make it sound more impressive, is she can talk about how she generated $72,000 in sales in the first quarter selling X product. See how that sounds different? How in the first bullet point, she doesn't sound very special or unique, but in the second one, she sounds a lot more unique, right? That's what employers want to see. Okay, so just think about things that you've been doing, projects you've been working on, and think about the results that you're generating. Think about maybe money made, think about percentages, think about ratios, think about amounts, whether it's amounts of people helped, whether you're getting 4 or 5 star reviews, how many reviews you're getting. Those are all things that employers want to see. Now, the flip side of that is qualitative results. Sometimes the impact that we are making can't really be measured in dollars and cents, right? But it's still important to highlight and to demonstrate on your resume. So, examples of qualitative results could be things like maybe you created a new process for your company. Maybe you received an award or a recognition. Maybe you were given a promotion or added responsibilities because you're trustworthy and because you get it done. Those are still outcomes and results that you can put on your resume. Now, I know this is new for a lot of people, and people are thinking, well, how do I figure that out? Well, I have a few suggestions. One thing that you can do is take a look at your performance reviews, especially if you've been with a company for a while. You probably have performance reviews. Take a look at the feedback that's being given to you. Another thing you can do, get a good old notebook and a pen and journal about things that you're working on at work and what you've been doing. And most importantly, those outcomes you've been generating. Okay. So just to recap, if you're a stay-at-home parent, you want to talk about the gap resume. If you are working on your resume, you want to make sure your resume is outcome driven. And my third and final tip is that one resume does not fit all. You know, I've written and reviewed hundreds of resumes in my career. And, one of the biggest problems I see is the generic thing where people just write these vague bullet points that sound a lot like job descriptions, right? Well, another thing I see is they'll write one resume and they'll use that same resume to apply to 50 jobs. The problem is that those 50 jobs, aren't the same. They all want different things in a candidate. And so the one size fits all approach is not going to work. So if you haven't been getting any interview callbacks, maybe it's because you're not tailoring your resume you are looking for. So, how do you tailor your resume? Well, the most important thing you should be doing is doing a little company research, okay? There's a company that you're interested in working for. You want to make sure that you are researching their values, their customers, the problems they solve, and making sure that you're highlighting examples that relate back to those things in your resume. Another thing is that, you know, they are keywords. And people are like, keywords. I feel like I've heard about keywords before. Well, keywords are very important. Okay, keywords are specific skills and requirements that are listed in the job description. Sometimes they're listed in repetition because they are important. You want to make sure that you're highlighting specific keywords in your resume as it relates to certain jobs. So it is important to put in that extra work doing that tailoring. Trust me, it's going to pay off in the long run and get you more interviews. Okay. And I have a little bit of an example to really drive this point home. So let's say that, summer's coming up and my friends and we have been talking about swim class. I don't think I'm putting Noe in swim class this year. But it's a thing, right? Summer's up, school's out. We want to get the kids involved in stuff. Well, what are you going to do, right? You're going to go online, or maybe you've gotten a referral from a fellow parent, a friend, and you're going to check out the instructors. You're going to check out the classes. You're going to check out, what they do, what their approach is. Do they work with kids that are in the same age group as your kids, right? You're going to have specific requirements for an instructor. And for you to invest your time and money, you want to make sure that that instructor is hidden off and checking off those boxes in terms of your requirements. So if you're looking for a piano instructor, for instance, you're probably not going to send your child to an instructor that just has on their website, bring your kids. I'm an instructor. I do everything and anything. You name it, we do it. You're probably not going to send your kid to an instructor like that because it's too vague. That instructor was trying to, bring everybody in, an effort to make money, but they weren't specific enough. You're probably going to more likely go to an instructor that offers the class that you want, whether it's swimming, piano, frisbee, whatever it is. B, works with kids that are in the same age group or same developmental level as your kid. And C, has an approach that you resonate with. Those specific things are what made the sale. And it's the same thing with our marketing brochures. They have to be specific. All right, so just to recap what my 3 game-changing tips for moms are when it comes to resumes are, number 1, if you are a stay-at-home parent, you need to talk about your resume gap. Don't skip it, don't avoid it. Your chances for getting callbacks for an interview goes up 60% if you talk about what you've been doing while you've been home. Number 2, you want to make sure that your resume is outcome focused, okay? Talk about results and accomplishments, whether it's with numbers or whether if it's not numbers, but it's more qualitative. That's going to be really important too. And finally, put in the work. Remember, not one resume fits all. One resume applying to 50 jobs, even if the job descriptions are similar, it's simply not going to work. And finally, I just want to say, if you are needing some help with a resume, I am a certified career coach and resume writer. I've written hundreds of resumes, whether for early, mid, or senior career professionals, and I would love to talk to you. So let's see here. If you want to connect with me, you could leave a comment below this video, or you can go to my website, www.nextchaptercareerservicesllc.com. I'm going to include that website in the description for this video. You can book a free call with me so we can discuss more your resume and I can answer any questions you have. Thank you so much for watching Career Talk, and I will be back next week, Facebook. Take care. Bye.